Hi, Yasmin and Shruti. I wanted to give you some thoughts or share some of my thinking with you about your message map and the analysis you presented of the case Robertson versus Mills Elementary School. Um, I had to say that when I first looked at your Twitter headline, I wasn't sure where you were going with that. But then as I look more closely, I see that, oh, okay, you decided to hashtag some of the key points that came out of the case. When you think about takeaways, you did talk about the important takeaways. If I'm going to frame it out in a Twitter headline, I think I would say school officials do not or don't offend the First Amendment by exercising editorial control over the style and content of student speech in school-sponsored expressive activities, so long as their actions are reasonably related to legitimate pedagogical concerns. Now I have to check that to see if it's within the 280 character mark. But you really did a nice job in addressing those points. And the case that you cited, Hazelwood versus Kumar, it was directly on point. A key thing to keep in mind is that school administrators do have editorial control over student work that is produced as a part of the curriculum, which this was. Another point that you made that was right on point, and it was aligned with Kumar, had to do with the maturity of the students. And I think that that is always a concern, especially when you're talking about younger students that you want to take into consideration. You're right. The principal was not in violation of the First Amendment of the students' First Amendment rights because they acted within the responsibilities that have been assigned to them. I liked how you talked too about Tinker. Tinker is the whole landmark case that set the stage for what students can and cannot say in schools, and thinking about Kumar, Tinker, Morse, and Frazier, how they established the four pillars of student expression. I appreciate the point that you made relative to qualified liability and your citation of the Brickley case. School officials, they protect their shield of qualified immunity when they are acting in a manner that's consistent with the responsibility assigned to their role. I think that you all did a very nice job with the case. You seemed comfortable with the content. Your presentation was clear. You looked at it both from a legal as well as an ethical perspective, and you even did a nice job in considering the relationship between the macro and micro environment. And that's something that sometimes school leaders miss. It's important to remember that everything that happens outside always finds its way inside of the school building. So I appreciate the work that you've done. I'm going to mark your grade. Even though I wasn't sure about that Twitter headline, I'm not taking points out for that. And I'm going to award you a score well earned of 100 points. So thank you for the work that you're doing with this. Oh, something else, and I almost forgot that I note, and I really like that you did this, is that you were affirmative and you were proactive in establishing the questions to prompt your classmates' thinking and to facilitate their engagement with the content that you produced. So kudos for that as well. If you need anything along the way, as something I continue to say, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Take care.